Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth of game. Can't feel that I work too hard. Poetry all in these songs.
What's good? What's good? What's good? We back in the Doja Room for another day, another take. Some more info, some more things going on. I'm not gonna lie, my boy Academics is lighting the timeline up right now, and I want to get straight into it. Okay, first and foremost, if you guys are tuning in to the Doja Room with me, your boy Dope Boy Diesel, go ahead and make sure you hit the video with a like, hit it with a repost if you're on X. Get us out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm over here fighting a little shadow ban right now, so please, 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 if you drop in here, go ahead and hit this video with a repost, okay? At very least a like. It would help us out tremendously, okay? So I'm gonna get into some of what's been going on here because we've had more developments, and I spent the better part of last night and this morning just connecting the dots of my article from last year and just updating it with the facts that we know today, with the Drake lawsuits, the Grand Wizard harassments, the academics involvements and things like that, and just tying everything together and even touching on the Tory Lanez case as well, okay? We're going to dive into a little bit of all of that right here in this session today. But again, if you're tuning in, go ahead and hit this video with a like, hit it with a repost, and get cozy, all right? To all my stoners, hippies, hip-hop enthusiasts, light your blunts up, relax, get nice and comfortable. We're going to break down and talk about a couple of things. But first, I think it's important because we see academics on the timeline right now. And I want to get to this because I think this is profound. I've been calling for a lot of exactly what's being said right now. And we're going to get to it, okay? We're going to get to it right now. Because I think this little rant here was hilarious, okay? But let's get to it. Let me take that off. And really, this is for my people who always pay attention, are always locked into the Doja Room, okay? Because if you're always locked in with me, if you are in a space with me, I'm not really a space kind of guy, but if you've locked into any of the spaces that I've been in, anything like that, then you already know. You already know. I've been calling for a lot of these guys to take their leave out of the hip-hop wing of hip-hop. The hip-hop wing of the culture, I mean, for a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's time. How many times have I gotten up here and said, you know, people like Charlemagne, these niggas on the Breakfast Club, people like Elliot Wilson, people like the Company Man, all of these guys, they need to get the fuck out of here. Because what are they really talking about? At the end of the day, a lot of these guys are not informed, they're misinformed, they don't know anything that they're talking about. And, you know, I'm glad academics once again is starting to say what needs to be said out loud, okay? Out loud. Again, I've been saying and calling for this shit for a minute. Ack said this is just about an hour ago. He says there's and he basically, this is him echoing the same sentiments that he echoed last night, but apparently he's not finished with these niggas, okay? He said these so-called hip-hop journalists never have the details of a story, do no research, have no sources, break no stories. They trash. They are all just reaction channels. YouTubers like Trap Lord Ross, What's the Dirt, are actually digging for information. present new stuff and report facts. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these niggas are way too comfortable with just reporting misinformation. And if you guys are just going to, just knowingly, brazenly report information, you niggas might as well just be on one of these legacy media platforms like a CNN, like I don't know, like you might as well be on Fox News. It doesn't really make sense to have you guys in the culture, because when I hear Charlemagne get up on the Breakfast Club and speak about damn near any rapper in the culture, he's fumbling for the information. He knows half of the story. He barely cares. He barely knows. Lauren LaRosa might give a smidget of a reporting of something that is being reported here. This is why I said this is the media. X is the media. This is where the news happens. And if you're here, a lot of people try to steer you away from X. But if you know how to use this as a tool for information, the facts are you'll be ahead of a lot of these bigger platforms. He also said DJ Vlad, a better journalist than these other cosplaying bums. Vlad literally solved the Tupac murder. What do hip hop journalists do other than say bullshit like, I wasn't around in 96? Nigga, who the fuck cares? You just old and irrelevant. Vlad solved a hip hop mystery. That's journalism. If you want to be in hip hop if you want to be a hip hop journalist, please just put in some work. The reason everyone talks about Drake is the journalists of this culture are lazy pieces of shit who don't put in work into even give us stories to discuss. Is that not the fucking truth? How many times do I say, where are these niggas at talking about the artist that they like? Why are you niggas not breaking stories about your favorite artist? We get it, you hate Drake. But why aren't you breaking stories about your favorite artist, about the culture that you want to see? Isn't that strange to you niggas? They don't care. This is why I say they're shameless. This is why I say so many of these niggas are shameless. This is why I've been saying for so long, these niggas got to get the fuck out of here. We can take this shit over. We can handle this shit. We can take it from here. Because at least if we're going to talk about and focus on one artist, we like the artist. We're going to do our due diligence. We're going to get the information, the facts straight. So yes, if you need to hear it from a Drake, hear some facts about Drake, you can go to a Drake fan. You can go to a Drake fan who reports who reports the news or facts about Drake unbiasedly as they are, without trying to throw these hating ass spins to it and narratives. It's really just that simple. It really is. Why do you niggas call yourselves journalists if all you guys do is regurgitate our talking points, our facts, the things that we find out? These niggas get the news from us, from the fans, from X. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I broke this down, and I said, being, transitioning from being an artist and doing media and, covering stories and getting on this platform and talking to you guys as often as I do, it really put into perspective for me, at least, how the news gets broken down. And how information moves up the ladder to where you have us fans biting on every theory, fact, or misinterpret fact or lie or whatever. We pick up everything. A Drake fan like me, we pick up everything. Okay? We pick it all up. And once we pick it up, it travels up the ladder. And when it travels up the ladder from us picking it up, it goes to, say, the blogs. And when the blogs pick something up that's pretty viral and they see as something to report on, it moves up to these bigger platforms like the Breakfast Club. So understand, and it goes even further to news organizations like CNN and Fox, and you get to things like that reaching, the ears and likes of a president or a politician, So understand that a lot of the times, I would say nowadays, probably 90% to 95% of the time, when a Lauren LaRosa or a Charlemagne or a Mark Lamont Hill gets a lot of these facts pertaining to hip hop, it's facts coming from us. It's things coming from us. It's dots connected that we took the time and figured out because we're paying attention and we're talking about these things day in and day out. And yeah, it may be a double-edged sword. Some people say, well, it's been 2 years. Oh, this and that. You guys talk about Drake every day, but we chronicleize the facts and the things that have been going on. So a byproduct of that is when lies are told, when things are trying to be put out that are untrue or to spin a narrative, people like us remember, people like us have the facts loaded up, and we expose niggas. And when we expose it, so see, when you see the Breakfast Club saying, oh, this and that person got exposed. Oh, this and that person found out that Rick Ross stopped following Drake. And when these things and this information is put out, it's because us as fans are watching every day. So just to put that into perspective, that's just how that works. We are doing the work a lot of the time. And a lot of people don't realize that. But it's the fan pages that are doing the work a lot of the time. And I don't necessarily claim to be a Drake fan page, but a lot of what I do as a Drake fan is push back on the narratives that began 2 years ago, which is why I kind of took a more aggressive stance in the things I talk about pertaining to Drake. But at the end of the day, the fact still stands that it can't be argued that a person like me and a lot of the people that I associate with here on X or on YouTube or on Kick, a lot of those people that we associate with, we're not the common fan. We're not the common Drake fan even. We are probably amongst the 1% when it comes down to fandom and people who kind of take this stuff serious to a certain degree. Because I feel like in a lot of instances, or in my case, I'm an artist. I take hip hop a little bit more seriously than the average fan that has never created music or never took the time to be in the studio, sleep in the studio, day in, day out, creating, racking your brain, sitting with your engineer, your producer, creating projects, writing. You have a different relationship with the music, the industry. So, you know, it really can't be compared or argued that, you know, some of us just have a bigger fandom than others. But I say all that to say that we are the ones who carry the information. We are the ones who chronicleize. We are the historians, if you will. If this was Game of Thrones, we would be the maesters. Okay? And I know a lot of motherfuckers watch Game of Thrones. If this was Game of Thrones, we would be the maesters. All right? That's just how information flows these days. And it rarely flows the other way around. Rarely. How many times can you say that we all clamored together and said, well, Lauren LaRosa found this out and she's reporting this and she's breaking this story and she's setting the record straight? No. A lot of these niggas just go along with what's already being put out. Where was Lauren LaRosa at? Where was Mark Lamont Hill at when everybody was asking the question of, is Drake MAGA? Where were these people at to set the record straight as journalists? They were nowhere to be found. They were nowhere to be found. So how can we sit here and, like academics is saying right here, how can we sit here and call these people journalists? How can we look to these people to have credibility and lead us to the truth? This is what I've been saying for the past 2 years. Off with their heads. It is what it is. He says, if you want to be a hip hop journalist, please put in some work. The reason everyone talks about Drake is the journalists of this culture are lazy pieces of shit who don't care at all to even put in no work to give us stories to discuss, nothing to debate, nothing to explore. They're bums. I can even give it to NFR. At least they'll set up a debate and get certain conversations going. Dirt has brought up countless times viable conversations to be in the culture, to be things that we should be questioning and discussing. And what are these other so-called journalists doing on the other side besides criticizing him ad hominems? And at the end of the day, we find out that they don't really have anything to add to any of these conversations. They don't have facts to go against anything that's being put out. Look at what these guys are criticizing. A lot of the times they don't have anything to say in contrast. These guys don't have legs to stand on. He also adds, let's put this into perspective. Okay? Rob Markman was the head of Genius. We used to go there for lyric breakdowns. They got so lazy, we literally just wait for What's the Dirt to do the dot connecting, no pun intended, and figure out the bars of the underlying shit behind some of these raps. It is what it is. Why even go to I was never one to use Genius that heavy anyway. I was never one to use Genius that heavy anyway, but all of a sudden the culture just became, we're gonna be breaking down Genius lyrics first night, and I'm like, how the fuck do niggas even know what niggas was talking about? Like, it's crazy to me. He says, Mark Lamont Hill, smart guy, had zero insights on any valuable stories in hip hop, no sources, no research, no new information. His job is just to be the smartest nigga on Joe Budden's circle. Where is the journalism? I don't want none of you bum ass niggas claiming you a journalist unless you show the work you doing. I'ma disrespect all of y'all till y'all put in the work. Dirk trial, Keefy D trial, Yella Breezy trial, bot allegations, labels not spending, educating youngsters on actual history. Cover some. These niggas just, again, these niggas get the news from us. They get information from us. A lot of the times, we are that persistent. We are that consistent to follow up and find out these facts and check the people spreading the misinformation and bringing the facts to squash the information being put out. We usually keep these facts on hand. It's not a Lauren LaRosa. It's not a Mark Lamont Hill. It's not any of these guys. Rob Markman. It's not any of these guys. It's people like us who, like I've said countless times, we are the ones with our boots to the ground, stand wars, whatever you want to call it. We are the one we are the ones who've been putting in the work. We're the ones who's been keeping the narrative straight. So it hasn't been too many other people doing this quote unquote journalism. And I'm not gonna try to make myself out to be a journalist. But I like consistency. I don't like hypocrisy. And I don't like liars. Okay? If you're going to be one way, if you're going to say, I rock this way, you know what I'm saying? I live a certain type of way, but you're going to call up certain people out for living it, then hey, I don't fuck with that. If you're the type of person that says, hey, I live my way, you live your way, I'm not going to judge you. I don't want you to judge me. I can't really say too much about that. Because at least you mind your own fucking business. But a lot of these people jump out of their bodies and they would like to talk down on so many people. They put out this information that's usually false. They jump on information that's usually false, that's usually a lie. And it's usually up to us fans to call these bigger platforms out, who get these things wrong on the regular, who lie to their platform's face, millions of followers some of these guys have. And they get up here and lie day in and day out. And it's up to fans like me, like some of you watching, to keep these guys consistent, to call out their bullshit. It's not nobody else doing this shit. It's not too many people doing this shit. That's just a fact. Who's really doing this? Who's really doing this shit for real? You know what I'm saying? Who's really doing this shit for real? Who's really putting out these facts and saying what needs to be said when it comes down to what's going on in the culture? I don't think it's too many people out here doing it. Okay? So, that was act going off on, like I said, countless streams I've had already, countless videos you can go and you can see where I've said, hey, it's time for Charlemagne, maybe Lauren LaRosa, a couple of these guys, Ebro, a couple of these guys, maybe it's time for you to go to the political wing. Okay? Maybe it's time for you guys to. Hey, I'm not telling you guys to not have a platform and things like that. You know, some of these guys like Charlemagne have given us countless, timeless, rememberable content and just pieces of work throughout, you know, their years where they are respectively. They've given the culture plenty. Okay, they've given the culture plenty. So not to say that a lot of you guys can't have a platform, because also, you know, with Charlemagne's transition into more of the political aspect of things and moving in that moving in that realm, I somewhat think it's good for our people where his intentions lie, at least. But on the other hand, it's almost a double edged sword, because when you start playing these political games, these these political games get a little bit different. And I'm talking about these real politics. I'm talking Republicans and Democrats. Those games get a little bit different. Okay? It gets a little bit different when you look at shit like that. So, you know, it is what it is, but a lot of people are waking this shit up that these guys aren't doing anything. This is why the culture is so stuck on Drake, 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 Drake. The culture that supposedly worships Kendrick Lamar is enamored by him, but they don't provide anything talking about the artist that he, you know, actually pushes and puts his name behind to whatever degree that may be. Because I mean, I guess at least Dochi got like a Instagram post or some shit like that. Or maybe it's the fact that they see when they do post people like Kendrick Lamar or a Dochi or this and that, and it's not paid for them to post these things or incentivized. It just doesn't have the same amount of engagement, and it doesn't do the same for their channels or platforms as it does posting Drake. And that's just the God's honest truth. And we already know that to be the truth. But, you know, it becomes more, you know, prevalent when this is the best your hip hop journalist can do. You know what I'm saying? I think it's kind of crazy, if you ask me. It very much is. I want to get into more of what's going on real quick though, because Wayno went off last night too on some conversations pertaining to Ray Daniels, and I want to get into some of that, which was kind of funny, because in my opinion, you know, I get Wayno maybe going through some things personally, and that's fine. In respect to him, and you know, hopefully prayers to him and his mother or whoever. But I couldn't help but notice that throughout this video, he never really denies leaking information, you know, which is what he is upset with Ray Daniels about, apparently, because he feels like Ray Daniel undermines all the hard work that he's done. I feel like Wayno's going a bit hard here.
You see how he's sitting there talking this bullshit about something that's not a fact, about something he knows absolutely nothing about, and the niggas that's sitting around him is just nodding their head. They just nodding their head. Nigga talking about they don't give you, they don't pay you because they love you and none of that. I don't give a fuck about none of these niggas in the music industry or the entertainment industry loving me, nigga. I just buried my mother. See, y'all niggas sit here and talk about y'all watch my show. If y'all watch my show, then y'all would have known that over the past 3 weeks since my mom's been gone, I dealt with her death and had to put her in a box and put her in the ground. That's my reality. But a nigga talking about a Black Effect deal. Fuck that deal while we talking about it right now while I'm addressing you, nigga. Because you don't know nothing about what's going on with me. But you sat here and talked with these niggas, and they sat there and nodded their heads like good-ass yes men listening to you because you sound smart to dumb niggas. That's your thing. See, Ray Daniels, I met him a couple of years ago, 3 to be exact now. Jack Daniels, who's from New York. I have a relationship with Jack Daniels. He worked with Ray Daniels. He asked me to come on Ray Daniels' show. I did. It was a good experience. Had fun. And then they asked me to come back. And when I went back, they was doing this debate show. And when we started doing the debate show, after maybe 3 times of me doing it, I said, yo, I'm not going to do this no more. And you want to know why? Because you say all types of dumb shit, nigga. You say dumb shit. See, I don't know if you be thinking before you speak or you just be talking while you thinking. But either way, you're wrong. You're wrong. And also, I came to that show and I seen that your audio was bad. Your video wasn't all the way together. And then we would shoot an episode on a Monday and then when it get done till Saturday. And I'm like, yo, bro, listen, we in a new time. We in a new game. This shit got to be done fast. And then I told you, yo, I'm going to step off and stick to what I'm doing already because that's what I need to focus on. And you kept asking me, no, I want to do the show with you. I need you to do the show with me. And I declined because you put yourself in position saying dumb shit. Now, you question why I'm on a Black Effect Network, and then you say some shit about, oh, well, because he leaked information. That's what you're reducing me to, nigga? That's what you're reducing me to. See, the thing about Ray Daniels, I don't even take it personal, and I don't even take it as disrespect, because I don't know you. I don't know you personally or...
But wait, no. Do you or do you not leak information? That's all we need to do. That's all you had to say in this entire video. Brother, do you be leaking information? We just want to know, brother. We just want to know. Do you be leaking information? It's a simple question. Yeah, y'all can check out Wayno's video. You know what I'm saying? He got me blocked. You know what I mean? Because I told this nigga to shut the hell up. But that was a couple of months ago. I ain't, I'm not going to bomb on a nigga while he's grieving. But yeah, apparently he didn't really like Ray Daniels saying that. But before we get to the rest of that, okay, because still sticking to the journalism thing for a second. I'm amazed by some of these people right here who, this is kind of what I'm talking about, what journalists do. This guy says academics asked for journalism. Rob Markman delivered it with violence. Let's hear the journalism.
It is about you. It is about you going. Now, academics has ongoing talk track. He has this ongoing talk track. This talk track that doesn't end against RocNation, right? So ACT has claimed to uncover proof that it is RocNation who is behind this and other lawsuits, or at least behind one of the lawsuits, right? Academics, hip-hop's shining beacon of truth, justice, and fairness has come forth to you all with proof, right? And now he's calling on hip-hop journalists. Again, Lauren LaRosa, the amazing Lauren LaRosa, the tenured Mark Lamont Hill, and myself to validate his findings. The guy who takes money from record labels to shape narratives. I'm not making that up. He told you he was paid $30,000 from Lil Baby's team to just chill on the album, to not go crazy on the album. He told you this. This ain't even about me, right? It is about you. This is about y'all who watching. This is about y'all. The guy who lies to you, who will come up with the nastiest takes, who will hire clippers to spread it across the internet to manipulate whatever he wants you to believe. The guy who doesn't present an ounce of objectivity, the guy who created Academics TV and lets that account do his dirty work, dropping the most vile, nasty shit, just actively attacking folks. That's the guy saying, okay, where's the journalism now? Hey, we need the facts here now. Now the facts are important. But it's not about facts, and it's never been about facts. It's about what story he can tell that benefits him and diminishes anyone who he believes is opposed to him. That remind you of someone? His Uncle Trump. Seriously, he calls him Uncle Trump. He's called him Uncle Trump. Feels like right out of that playbook, right? And his tweet, I mean, it wasn't serious. It's not about him wanting.
Yeah, but when are we gonna get to? When are we gonna get to the findings? Let's. When are we gonna talk about what we all know to be pretty damning evidence and information? When are we gonna talk about the AI websites and journalists? When are we going to talk about the clear lies? Let's see.
Me or Lauren or Mark to report on whatever it is he's talking about right now, right? He don't need me for that. He don't need Lauren for that. He don't need Mark for that. He has a bunch of clippers that he pays to do that. These days, the game isn't about the truth, sadly. It's about if you can get the internet, and when I say the internet, if it ain't real people, then it's bots. But the internet in total, because they say 50% of internet activity is botted anyway. The game is if you could get the internet to repeat your bullshit long enough till it becomes the truth, till it appears to be the truth. That's really the name of the game. It's him saying, look at how much of a victim I am. RocNation is out to get me, y'all. Little old me who never bothers anybody. RocNation is out to get me. Look at how much of a victim Drake is. RocNation is out to get him, y'all. And shit. We gonna see what the truth is. The truth always comes to light. The truth always comes to light. But I'm gonna wait and see if there's some more trustworthy sources. Forgive me. I'm interested in the truth. I want to know what the truth is. But forgive me. I am going to wait for some more trustworthy sources. That's just me. Y'all can do what y'all want to do, right? Y'all see it though. I'm not telling you nothing that you don't know. And again, I'm talking to y'all who watch this channel, right? Because there's the most important part here. The most important part here isn't Jay-Z or Desiree Perez, isn't Drake. The most important part is y'all. And how y'all get your information and who y'all getting your information from, because y'all deserve the truth, right? But I'm not telling you something that you don't know. What I'm telling y'all is that y'all deserve better than this shit. Overall, not just this story. I'm talking about this shit, like what we're in right now, like the current state of affairs of where we're at. Y'all deserve better than this shit. Our culture deserves better. Our stories deserve better, to be told better with high quality. Our music deserves better. Y'all, the audience deserves better. Better than someone who has built the platform and uses his media to consistently attack people, right? Then he tries to poison the well. Rob Markman, you still a journalist or just a Drake hater? The biggest hater, right? In this whole ecosystem, in this whole thing that we took, everything that we consume, the biggest hater in it all is calling someone else a hater. That's just misdirection, man. That's just projecting.
So we're still not talking about how I don't know. We found these lawsuits to be fake and frivolous. We're not going to talk about how basically all of this harassment against Grand Wizard was manufactured just to be able to reveal who he is and expose who he is and where he is. We're not going to talk about the facts because You guys are biased. You guys are here to push narratives. No better than a CNN, no better than a Fox News, no better than the media that we are straying away from. They're no better than these niggas. This is why we don't listen to these niggas. This is why we're saying it's time. I've been saying this shit for so long, it's almost tired. But this is why I've been saying it's time to get these fuck niggas out of here. These guys are fucking the game up. These guys make it okay to be delusional. These guys make it okay for people to be running around X spreading lies and misinformation and running with it just because they don't like the other guy. These are the kind of journalists we're running with. People like the googly-eyed bitch. What's her name? Can't fucking remember her. What's the googly-eyed dude, man? Where's she at, man? What's the googly-eyed bitch's name? But people like her, man, it's like, come on. They fucking the game up, B. They fucking the game all the way up. And they don't do any real journalism. They're paid for. They're bought off. They're just as biased as any of us fans that you guys claim to be dick suckers and dick riders and all of these things. They're just as biased as the rest of us. At least people like me can either call out where I'm biased or be objective and say where I'm objective. But sometimes I'm objective to the max. I might be objective to the point where I might piss some of you off. And I really don't give a fuck. Because I can't be a hypocrite. I can't live one way and say one thing and then let it fly just because my favorite guy is doing it. I'm never going to be that guy. But these guys, niggas like him, niggas like this is exactly who they are. Par for the course. This is who they are. Unapologetically. They don't care.
That's, you know, the other day we was talking about comic books and X-Men and Marvel and fantasy and finding your joy at whatever age you're in, right? It's misdirection, that's projection. My Star Wars fans, y'all know what that is.
What?
That's the Jedi mind trick. That's the, hey man, ain't no joy.
Where's the facts?
Bullshit. Let's go back. When Drake and I had that little back and forth on Instagram, I don't even know when that was. That was last year by this point, maybe. Right? When we had that little back and forth. That wasn't even a beef to me, man. I don't know how
Brother,
he
we
takes
don't even
it
remember
or
that. We don't know what
not
you're
even
talking about.
Yeah, man,
Let's get to the facts.
You get into it. Back in school, it's a lunchroom thing. You get into the dozens a little bit. Hey, man, he shot one at you, you shoot back, and it ain't even that serious. Wasn't to me. I'm just telling you, to me, it wasn't a big thing. So that happened, right? That little thing between me and Drake happened. Public. What did I do? I made one video. One video and I moved on. I didn't make a week's worth of content about it. I didn't make it my whole identity or my life's mission to constantly try to shoot or discredit that man. We made one video. I responded. He said what he said. I said what I said, and it was done. But best believe I know how the internet works. I know the game that we play. I know how the algorithm works. Yeah, I know it too. I do 10 videos on that one little thing. I do 10 videos on that. I dwell on it, create new narratives, new conspiracy theories, and the views go up and the channels go up. But that's not what I'm in it for. I mean, there's something called integrity. My integrity. It just don't feel right to me. Like why would I dwell on it? It didn't mean that much to me, man. We're gonna address it, we're gonna move on. Quite frankly, it was embarrassing, right? So it's my integrity. My integrity is worth more than to, oh man, I'm gonna milk this for what it's worth. Some of these other guys out here, they'd have made t-shirts, they would have made merch, they would have, like, let's be real, y'all see it.
Like Screwface? Like Screwface? Like Screwface made shirts off of the protect the culture, gatekeep the culture. What kind of shirts did he make? Like your man Screwface? We gotta stop. Like on some real shit. Where's the facts? What does your morality and your integrity have to do with you reporting clear, objective facts? What are you addressing?
I couldn't do that. And it's my integrity. It definitely starts with how I feel about myself and my legacy and my career and what I want to be remembered for. And it's also my respect for y'all who watch the channel, who I see outside when I'm in the street, anywhere, man. Sometimes it's at the car wash, like sometimes it's at a concert, sometimes it's at a restaurant, sometimes I'm out with my family, sometimes, and who come up to me and be like, yo, dog, I watch the channel, yo, I love what you do, yo, I respect what you do. Man, that shit means the world for me. So for one, it's my integrity that I have, and it's how I feel about myself. But then it's the respect I have for y'all, my audience, y'all who got me here, with every click, with every comment, with every share, with every time you tap your man and be like, yo, man, I like what Rob is doing. Check it out. It's funny when Iceman came out, leading up to the release of Iceman, of course we talked. It's a huge hip hop release. Why wouldn't we talk about it?
Yo, what made this nigga right here? What made this bum ass nigga want to use the word violence with Rob Markman and listening to this fucking video? Huh? What are we talking about? Delivered it with violence. No ether instrumental needed. This was the beat. Markman pulled the receipts, exposed the payola history, and reminded everybody that he was at MTV News before Ak even had a mic. The friend said, homie did everything but address the findings. Charles Balls in My Mouth Brown says, saying academics has findings is super ridiculous. Like, nigga, what are you talking about? What are these bum ass niggas talking? Saying academics has findings is like, how much shit has academics broke? Academics, if everyone was paying attention correctly, gave us the correct timeline and story of everything that happened with the Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez situation before anybody ever did. And I remember that shit like it was yesterday because I was like, well, how the fuck does this nigga know this shit? And he gave that information. I don't know where he got it from, but come to find out, once the trial started and we were going day by day watching these trials, that was exactly the story. That was exactly the story. And academics had been the only person who had been speaking on what had actually happened that night, without any bias, without trying to save Tory or make Tory look good or look like the good guy or anything like that. He just gave the story. Months before we heard it in court. So for a dumbass nigga like Charles Brown to be over here saying academics saying he has findings is super ridiculous. Nigga, what findings do you got, bitch? What findings have you uncovered, bitch? You bitch ass nigga. This is the same nigga. The only findings you got is you looking in the mirror and discovering that, yes, you will get on all fours and chill and suck Drake's dick day in and day out to make that Skrilla, to make that money, nigga. You will have Drake's come all over your face every day if it means you can feed your family. You've already admitted that. You've already admitted that, brother. We don't need you to say anything else. Not a damn thing. You can save that for yourself. I don't need to hear nothing from you. We're the culture. Nobody needs to hear a damn thing from you, brother. That's just a fact. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but it's just stupid. They said you want him to speculate. He said, or he can actually use that degree and background he's touting and look into it further. He could easily find out academics framing is BS and report that as well. That's a fact. He said there were in findings. You're asking a journalist to speculate without proof. SMH. What's wrong with news today? Like it's crazy the people running defense for these niggas. Trying to say, oh, all of this is just speculation. It's just journalists report on speculation. I don't know if you niggas know this or fucking not. But journalists also report on speculations. They also report on talks or what the speculations may be. What the fuck? What are we talking about? Are you niggas fucking stupid? Nigga said brain rot. No, you have a lead. Now go investigate. And if it leads nowhere, come back and tell us. This other person says there are no findings. He found out that the dudes who are in the lawsuit against Stake at one point worked with RocNation. Ew, oh my God, alert the governor. Somebody who worked with RocNation is now behind the Stake lawsuit. Do you see how dumb that sounds? Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's lawyer. He's now working with Elon Musk. So is RocNation behind the Elon Musk situation? So you clearly don't even know what the latest thing is, so don't even know why you're engaging in this conversation. Exactly. And again, I want you guys to look at this engagement right here, because a lot of the times, this is the engagement we have with a person like a Charlemagne or a Lauren LaRosa, people who like to laugh it off and say, oh, do you see how dumb this sounds? It sounds dumb to you because, my nigga, you're not even in the conversation. You don't even know what the fuck is going on. You don't. You have no clue what the facts are. You're not following this story. You guys are not following these facts. You're not following what's being said. You're not following anything. You guys are virtually not even existent in these conversations. So I've had to have this conversation with a couple of people who get up and like to come into my comment section saying all of this dumb shit. But when you speak to these people, it's clear that they don't even have all the facts. They don't even have all the facts to come and step to you with such conviction and confidence that what they're talking about, they can sit in your face and laugh it off and say, do you see how dumb that sounds? No, bitch, do you see how dumb you fucking sound? If only you fucking knew. If only you did your due diligence. If only you did what you were supposed to do as a person with a sizable platform. If only you did what you were supposed to do, you would know none of this shit necessarily sounds crazy. Because now even people on the Joe Budden podcast have to even say, well, hey, damn, this sounds a little credible. If all of these things are true, it sounds damning. And they can at least give us that. They can at least be sane enough and be level-headed enough to say, you know what? We can't just ignore this and chuck this off, because why? It makes us look like we're shills. It makes us look like we have some alliance or allegiance that we might not necessarily have. But these other people, they just don't give a fuck about any of that. These niggas are willing to, they're ready to sign the Desiree a stimulus package. And we'll get to her package in a minute. But they're ready to sign that RocNation contract. Oh, yeah. Niggas like this, they're just waiting for RocNation to come knocking at their door. Waiting. He says, so you weren't listening. He addressed it both in this video and the one he made when the news broke. The dismissal Drake fans keep talking about was merely the judge saying this case can only happen in a private arbitration, meaning it does go to trial. We'll never know if it does go to trial, or when it does go to trial. We'll never know. He says, once again, another person who doesn't even know the new topic at hand, but just talking. That was 2 weeks ago. We on to new shit now. And this dude said, and you said he never addressed the findings. I said he did address them twice. And then I explained what findings are. He said, oh, Lord, y'all can't be this slow. The new findings now rehash the old. We all talked about this a week ago. He says, okay, what are these new findings? He says, no, you need to start talking before, you need to stop talking. No, you started talking before even knowing the convo. You can look them up and you'll see. But this is typical. This is typical. He said he addressed it. Leave my homeboy out of it. He said, what did he address? He said, watch the video and you'll see. The niggas like this is like, bro, just answer the question. What did he address? He literally didn't. He's talking about old shit, not new stuff that happened over the weekend. He said he responded and saying he's a journalist and how he's constantly talks about Drake and Hove every minute of every day. That's not journalism. Rob went to school for media and journalism. Ack is a streamer. He was never a part of the blog era. Rob speaks facts, not narratives. He says, okay, so you said all that to tell me he didn't actually speak on what the new conversation is. Basically, yeah, these niggas don't have any grounds to stand on. Okay, these niggas are gonna go around in circles talking about nothing, and at the end of the day, all the shit that they have to say doesn't really amount to shit. Okay, let's get into Academic's response, because Academics indeed responded to this, and he let this nigga have it. Apparently, he must have thought that Academics was asking for some type of validation from these real journalists. Apparently, Rob Markman thinks that we need his validation for our own eyes and ears and what they've seen and come across in these past couple of weeks. Apparently, we need them to do that. Let's get into
it. And now he's calling on hip-hop journalists. Again, Lauren LaRosa, the amazing Lauren LaRosa, the tenured Mark Lamont Hill, and myself to validate his findings.
Let me just stop right there. All three of y'all niggas, Lauren LaRosa, Mark Lamont Hill, and y'all could all eat a dick. Let me just tell y'all the truth about journalism these days. This is why I don't respect y'all. I really call on y'all on some facetious shit. I don't respect none of y'all niggas. Y'all niggas on some journalism shit. Let me tell you where the journalism come in when it comes to y'all niggas. Nigga, you just a writer, nigga. Like, yeah, you listen to hip-hop and you from the culture, this and third, but nigga, when I think about journalism, I think about investigative shit. None of y'all do that. Definitely not you. You the genius, nigga. You don't do that. Lauren LaRosa is I called for a statement. She don't do that. And anybody else I mentioned, I basically told y'all all three of y'all niggas could eat a dick. You know why? Because the real journalists these days that put the work in is the YouTubers, nigga. They put the work in. I've always said, you know why I came up in hip-hop? I came up in hip-hop shitting on niggas who wrote. The journalists who wrote for Hot New Hip-Hop, all these other bum-ass sites. I shitted on them because I would download I figured out, let's get the indictment. Let me go read 700 pages. Let me go read 10 different things. All y'all did is the repost. All y'all do is repost shit. So when I hear y'all talk about shit, even when you don't even know the case, you like stumbling, fumbling, looking at your notes. You don't even know what you're talking about. How you the journalist and you have zero idea. I talk about the case not only because I'm sued. I talk about the case fluently because I know it back and front. How are y'all journalists? Is it because I pop shit and I could talk shit with the best of them? I'm not no journalist. Nigga, I know more than you niggas about all this shit. You niggas do no research. You don't do no work. That's my problem. Lauren LaRosa, the most she does, go to her timeline. Oh, we called over there for a comment. Bitch, that's all you do. Get the fuck out of here. How are you a journalist? Go break a story. Go figure some shit out. Put 2 and 2 together. Nigga, I've been doing this shit, nigga, ever since I came in the game, nigga. All them stories that you see, all the millions of people that watch me from, nigga, I broke them shits. I had to go figure out how to go get it. That's why when y'all talk about journalism, nigga, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. Nigga, because you did genius and you, man, get the fuck out of here. You niggas is lazy. Stop talking about shit if you don't put the work in. You see this dark shit I'm about to cover? Nigga, I'm not saying y'all gotta cover criminal trials, nigga, but nigga, I gotta get into the weeds with this shit. You niggas don't do that. You niggas now is trying to do what I do. Except y'all not funny. Y'all can't talk like y'all talk. Y'all don't got the chat, niggas. Y'all just be here like, oh, so let me talk about bullshit. This is why y'all niggas ain't growing. Y'all call yourself journalism. What's the last story y'all broke? Nigga, look at sports, nigga. Look at the Pablo Torres, nigga. He was working on a story. You niggas work on nothing. Nothing. Nigga, y'all getting called journalists because y'all got connections. Nigga, y'all don't get called journalism because you work. Trap Lord Rose puts all you niggas to shame. The fuck do y'all do? The fuck do y'all do? How come some white boys is making videos, breaking down shit, being investigative? Even if we talking about motherfucking Rolling Stone, it's Nancy Dillon, a white bitch over there doing it. How the fuck are y'all journalists then? Y'all are the laziest fucking pieces of shit journalists I've ever seen. Don't cover the state case if you don't want to put dots together and drop a story. You niggas do nothing. If y'all are hip-hop media, of course, that's why I'm pissing on y'all every time, and I'm number one. Because even when I sit here and pop my shit, I'm the best at doing that. And when I'm really in my bag to do my research, I'm the best at doing that too. I told y'all to do y'all research. Oh, why ACT want us to do research? Why y'all talking about something that you're not doing research on? How are y'all talking about shit? Y'all the journalists. I'm the talking head. I'm like color commentary. I'm supposed to be on some, Akon got all the facts. He's just giving his opinion. How do I have all the facts on all the stories and y'all over here reading through the BlackBerry like Drake at fucking Hot 97? How? That means it's lazy, man. This ain't even about this topic. Nigga, I don't need y'all. Nigga, y'all voices ain't nothing. My point to y'all is that y'all talk about shit like y'all have some journalistic integrity. Y'all are lazy fucking shills. Keep making them stupid ass videos, but if y'all ever want to get to the big leagues, this is what you do. Break a fucking story. Investigate some shit. Actually, don't do what Lauren LaRosa and her dumbass does every. Oh, I called over for a comment. Bitch, you think that's journalism? Oh, I called over. They told us no comment. That's it? Bitch, come the fuck on, man. Go look at hip hop, nigga. Yo, where independent media is at right now? Nigga, go on Flacco's page. Go on. I'm not saying they get it right all the time. But go to Trap Lord Ross. This nigga is breaking.
Niggas is on it. Niggas like Flacco, real independent media journalists, real people who, you know, just get in front of a camera, do the work themselves, like Axe said, investigate this stuff themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we sat here yesterday and we broke down exactly how an article that I wrote last year perfectly connects what we're seeing happening to Drake and Stake and all of these other things today. And again, if these journalists were actually doing this work, it would be perfectly easy for them to make these same connections. I shouldn't be the one doing stuff like this. You feel me? I shouldn't be the one who has to go in and make these connections. I shouldn't be the one. I shouldn't be the one making these connections. I shouldn't be the one digging for years, watching these people, creating files on these people for years, and having to connect these dots myself when we have more competent, more decorated journalists in the hip hop space than myself, way more credible, so we say. But they're not, at very least, you don't forget the thumbnail. Forget the title. Why are you not at least asking the question about information like this that is readily available for us to find? Readily available. I've been connecting the dots. A lot of us have been connecting the dots. These things aren't just one-offs. Okay? These things aren't just coincidence. This is some real shit going on. It's not just coincidence at all. Let's see here. I want to see some of the conversation here in this. It says, yes, YouTubers have to put in mad work. They have more to invest. A video going platinum can keep getting you money. They said Mark is a real journalist, but he's not touching this story. Mark, I feel like, has more information, but he's not touching the story. The other two are just lazy. And not picking and choosing what stories you want to touch. I mean, can we say too much about that? Not really. I pick and choose what I want to talk about and what I want to write articles about. But at the end of the day, too, I don't necessarily call myself a journalist. So I don't hold myself to that standard at the same time. I just do whatever the fuck I want. Quite frankly, it is just that simple. So I don't have the pressure of all of this. I mean, if I was to call myself a journalist, I would feel obligated to, be on top of certain things that fall within my realm. And I think that's all that we're asking here, is to be on top of the information and the conversations that fall within your realm. The topics that fall within your realm, the big ticket items, the questions that we all have to ask, which is what journalism is about. You being a voice for the people, not being a voice for the establishment, for the big companies. A journalist is a voice for the people, for us to get the answers that we need from the people we need it from. Because there being so many of us, there is a select few who are equipped and who have maybe went to school or gotten the credentials to represent the people and go before these figures, be it politicians, artists, whoever, and speak and ask the questions that the fans want to know. That should be your first obligation. But ask yourself, does Lauren LaRosa look like she has an obligation to the fans? Or does she look like she has an obligation to Charlamagne and the Breakfast Club and RocNation? Does Mark Lamont Hill look like he has an obligation to the people? Or does he look like he's obligated to talk about the things that the people who pay him want him to talk about? Does this other guy we just watched, Rob Markman, does he sound like someone who's willing to put his biases aside and say, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to put my job, I'm going to put my integrity in what I set out to do as a journalist first, which is report the facts to the people and let the people decide what the facts are, what is true and what's not. It's not your job as a journalist to decide for us what the facts are, what are the real facts, and this, that. Your only job is to report the news as a journalist. Find and report. Find and report. Unless something is just unequivocally just not a fact. But for you to report some things that are alleged, as if journalists don't report allegations, as if journalists don't report allegations that stir up big enough and that are big enough conversations amongst the people to where they have to be mentioned, they have to be talked about. Because the conversations around these allegations are just that big that you can't just ignore them. And when you do ignore these things, you make it seem like you're taking it upon yourself to tell us what we can and can't hear. You're taking it upon yourself to say that we aren't smart enough to take the filth from the good. And I don't like that. I don't like that. That's terrible. If you don't think that we as, human beings, competent adults, if you think we can't break down and take the fluff from the facts, then it's just like, well, who the fuck do you think you are? And it's not just people like this guy. It's a lot of people who feel like they can make these decisions for us. They can make the decisions of what we are going to do or what we're going to hear, what we're allowed to hear, and what we're not allowed to hear. And personally, I don't know about you guys, but I never signed up for that subscription. I never signed up for that subscription. Fortunately. Look what this guy says. They get all their information from us. When I realized that, it was crazy. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? They get all of their information from us. People are waking up. We're seeing this shit for what it is. Okay? Let's get into some of the next stuff, because as we keep on going through some of these things going on with RocNation, I want to zoom into the stream last night, more of the stream, because this conversation with Ray Daniels was pretty eye-opening. Okay, we're gonna hear some pretty damning things, but let's get into it. Actually, let's get into this conversation first that was being had between Ray Daniels and his co-host about exactly, what he thinks Charlemagne is doing out here, which is paying for information to get dirt on Ray Daniels these days. Okay, so let's check this out.
Don't read the name, but I wanted to show everybody the first text I wake up to this morning. Can you read it, Jack?
Yeah, sure. All right. It says, dude calling around asking about you, trying to dig up information. LOL is on. He is investigating your life now.
Perfect. Now the crazy part about it is that's what Dame said to me yesterday. Dame said they gonna come out to try to attack you, look into you. I'm just gonna tell them it's a waste of time. There's no year of my life where you can find a hole in it to figure out who I am. You are surrounded by my people.
Now, I want to stop right there for a second, because I point out that this is very common. And in yesterday, we pointed out that there are some eerily similar patterns of behavior that we are starting to identify. Okay, so as I told you guys, I did this article, we put this out, so go ahead and check this out if you may. Worked really hard on this, and this is just, again, connecting the dots and showing the pattern, the playbook, if you will, of a person like Desiree Perez. Now, Charlemagne might be going around and calling and trying to figure out some of this information himself and doing some of the dirty work himself. But make no mistake, what we're hearing, and this is the first stage of some of what Ray Daniels will experience, okay? I feel like Desiree Perez handles each of her targets a bit differently. She doesn't try to make it too cookie cutter because her enemies vary in income, in social status, and you have to deal with people in the way that I guess calls for it, if that makes sense. I wrote this article to bridge the gap from the article that I wrote last year because it's pretty clear to me, and it's obviously starting to become clear to others, but it's pretty clear to me, for at least. And you can check out our stream from yesterday to where we break down that article a little bit further. But it's clear that Desiree Perez has a pattern and she has a signature that she leaves when going after her enemies. And this pattern, it's hard for her to cover up because it leaves a lot of bruising. It leaves a lot of scarring. And she runs RocNation like a mob, like a what would you say, like there's no other way to put it, like a mafia. So I wrote this article, bridging the gap and bringing the new facts of some of the things uncovered by What's the Dirt, and taking what we knew to be fact back then and really, again, just bridging it all together. So the music industry has always run on unspoken rules, but behind the velvet ropes of modern hip hop, silence is no longer an organic phenomena. It is an engineered commodity. When a pattern of behavior emerges that bridges the private destruction of an individual's life with high-stakes digital warfare against the biggest artist on earth, coincidence stops being an acceptable explanation. Okay? And this echoes what I was saying yesterday, just because no longer can we sit back and call the things happening around RocNation and its artists, and even some of the people that it may represent. No longer can we just sit back and call these things coincidence. So a year ago, I documented how Desiree Perez, CEO of RocNation, wasn't just a powerful executive with an army of tech staff, private investigators, lawyers, and seemingly unlimited resources. The documented history showed a willingness to deploy those tools against her own blood. To pay for compliance, build ghost-like entities, and control narratives. The Baker Act and Marchman Act filings against her daughter, Demore Hadley, the false reports that put her son-in-law, Javon Hadley, in cuffs multiple times, the surveillance, the pressure campaigns. These weren't isolated family drama. They were the operating systems. Now, the federal complaint in Hadley versus Perez lays it out in forensic detail. The court recordings in that filing read like a manual on institutional weaponization. Demore Hadley alleges her mother, a former drug trafficker and confidential informant who rose to co-fund and run one of the most influential entertainment companies in the world, constructed an enterprise of individuals to tear her marriage apart. And this is what Demore Hadley believes to be true. Wiretaps, hidden cameras in the marital bedroom since at least 2022. Hacking or cloning of Demore's iCloud, an account so thorough that devices appeared to ping from RocNation's headquarters on West 26th Street while Demore held her actual phone in Miami. Private investigators from Sig9 LLC, medical professionals and facilities that rubber-stamped involuntary commitments under false pretenses, coordinated 911 calls, prosecutors noting that the oddities of Desiree's producing private text messages dating back to 2017 and the illegality of the bedroom recordings. Desiree's own prior lawsuit against Javon even included a snapshot from the illegal cameras. She outlined how private investigators were stationed across the street, which is very familiar sounding. If we look at what happened to Grand Wizard, if we look at what happened to academics, and What's the Dirt may have even experienced some of this. She outlined how private investigators were stationed across the street, how her employer, Iconic Creative, was allegedly bailed out from financial collapse by Perez specifically to mandate training. That was actually an unauthorized stealth psychological evaluation. Most egregiously, the lawsuit exposes how the Baker Act and Marchman Acts were subverted and forcibly commit her under false pretenses, a campaign that unraveled only when drug panels and 90-day hair follicle tests came back completely clean. The state prosecutors issued an 11-page memorandum dropping these charges against her husband, Javon, and after identifying a pattern of fabricated law enforcement reports. So she has, once again, she has the means to do these things. If a corporate leader is alleged to possess no moral boundary when weaponizing statutory holds, false police reports, and technical surveillances against her own flesh and blood, what happens when the same tools are pointed outwards at the culture? The answer has begun to spill into the public square. In recent months, a series of seemingly disjointed digital attacks, anonymous smear campaigns, and bizarre legal filings have targeted figures like Drake, Stake, DJ Academics, and Grand Wizard. A forensic breakdown by investigative platform What's the Dirt blew the lid off the operations, connecting the dots back to a single nexus. The investigation revealed that the coordinated playbook, artificial intelligence generated websites, astro-funded media campaigns, and law firm representations specifically tied to networks linked to RocNation, where vulnerable individuals were allegedly positioned to file proxy claims in digital hit pieces. This exact playbook was also echoed when Larry Jackson, CEO of Gamma, filed a New York Supreme Court defamation lawsuit against the anonymous architects of the LarryJacksonExposed.com and GammaExposed.com. Jackson's filings laid bare how an AI-powered content platform sheltered behind privacy servers and amplified by hundreds of coordinated zero-activity bot accounts was deployed within 12-minute windows to destroy commercial partnerships and destabilize the independent juggernaut. This is the signature. Create a fake website, draft the AI-assisted legal narrative, release the bots, and invoke law enforcement or judicial bodies to enforce the pressure. Once this framework is understood, legacy industry events must be re-examined through new lenses. Take the Tory Lanez trial, for instance. The critical moment that still raises an unanswered question centers on one eyewitness, Sean Kelly, called by the defenses as a key eyewitness who was expected to support the narrative that a woman aligned with the claim involving Kelsey Harris fired first. Kelly's testimony shifted mid-trial ways Tory's team did not anticipate. He offered a contradictory accounts, initially indicating he believed a girl fired the first shot, and that he never actually saw a gun, only flashes, before stating under examination that the shorter guy, Tory, was firing everywhere, had something in his outstretched hand, and discharged about 4 or 5 shots. The defense's own star witness effectively undercut the theory that they had previewed after this alleged meeting with Desiree Perez, leaving the jury with a vision of events that surprised even the team that called him. In isolation, courtroom testimony can turn for many reasons. Stacked against the detailed allegations in Hadley's complaint, Desiree's alleged use of surveillance, false reports, institutional leverage, and narrative control to flip the outcomes and pressure people into statements that serve her ends. The quiet part gets louder. When the pattern of influence and unexpected shifts in key accounts appears in high-stake trials involving RocNation managed artists, and when the same executive's own daughter has now laid out in federal years-long campaign of exactly that kind of institutional and digital pressure, the questions about how certain stories get rewritten stop being theoretical. On a recent stream with DJ Academics, and we're going to get to that clip here in a minute, media executive Ray Daniels stated an unspoken truth aloud, delivering a spine-chilling quote. He says, "The first time I heard about Desiree Perez, I heard she's someone you don't fuck with. She's a gangster." Why is this the prevailing sentiment amongst seasoned executives behind closed doors? Why does an entire industry tiptoe around one corporate office? Industry executives don't invent that kind of reputation for fun. It's earned in rooms where the quiet part is already known. Because everyone knows what they have to lose. Perez has proven her ability to leverage corporate balance sheets and rescue struggling entities when it serves her ends. And equally, an ability to deploy corporate intelligence apparatuses to ruin those who stand in her way. What does she have on them? How many quietly owe their financial survival on the public silence to agreements brokered in those rooms? Charlemagne's orbit has only sharpened the picture. Lawsuits and content trails that rely on AI-generated or thinly sourced claims, journalist cutouts and amplifications, networks that collapse under scrutiny. These are the same digital warfare tools that Hadley's case attributes to Desiree's tech apparatus and proxies. When the hand is exposed, the pattern stops looking like an isolated beef and starts looking like a continuous operation. Desiree Perez co-founded RocNation with Jay-Z. She runs Super Bowl halftime production. She sits at the intersection of music, sports, and culture with access to the best technology money can buy, elite counsel, and institutional relationships. The public can resume its Emmy wins, Billboard Power List, and philanthropy. The private record, according to her own daughter's verified federal complaint, includes years of illegal bedroom surveillance, iCloud infiltration, fabricated mental health and substance commitments, and repeated false arrests designed to destroy a marriage. In the industry record, according to the accumulating documentation from What's the Dirt, Stake and Drake Academics, Grand Wizard Litigation Web, and the Tory Lanez aftermath, shows parallel tactics, lawfare, narrative engineering, and pressure that leaves targets isolated while the quiet majority looks away. This is not about one family feud. This is about whether absolute power in the entertainment complex operates without accountability. The Hadley complaint is not just a blog post, it's a 64-page verified pleading in federal courts naming RocNation itself, private investigators, medical entities, sheriff officers, and cult specialists, of all people, alongside Desiree Perez. Okay? Nothing is off the table. It alleges RICO-style enterprise conduct, civil rights violation, conspiracy, and sustained campaign of psychological and legal warfare. Prosecutors already flagged pieces of the false report and illegal recordings conducts in prior criminal matters. The pattern of building entities, funding compliance, and weaponizing systems is no longer theoretical. The industry silence is the loudest evidence of it all. People who know do not speak because the cost of speaking is real. Careers, deals, access, and personal safety hang in the balance when the person across the table has already demonstrated she will deploy police, doctors, private eyes, and digital black ops against her own child. Ray Daniels' gangster characterization is not a hyperbole from the cheap seats. It's an assessment circulating in the rooms that matter. We are past the point of treating these disconnected events as coincidences. The Baker Act weaponization against Damori, the false arrest of Javon, the bedroom cameras, clone phones, the Grand Wizard harassment, the stake lawsuits timed with deposition phishing, the Tory Lanez witness dynamics, the AI-fueled content ops, these are chapters in the same book. Desiree Perez has shown she will use RocNation's infrastructure and her personal history of navigating the criminal justice system as both a shield and a sword. The quiet part is this. When someone with this track record and this level of institutional capture decides you are an obstacle, the system that should protect you becomes the tool used against you. The Hadley's case forces the industry to confront what is already knows behind closed doors. The evidence is the docket. The pattern is the public record. The only remaining question is how long the rest of the timeline stays asleep while the machine keeps running. By yours truly. Okay? And I had to do it for that. We had to do it for the culture. Please, guys, get into it. Read it yourself. If you like that article, share it with your friends. But we had to get into it. It's a long one, I know. But we had to get into it. I had to get into it, and I had to bridge the gap. I had to lay it out plainly enough and clearly for the people because, again, how long do we let these things fly? You know what I'm saying? How long do we let these things fly? It is kind of crazy. I want to keep on going because in the article, I mentioned some of the stream that happened last night that we are going to also play. But first, let's get back to this on what actually was said, okay? And we'll get to that. We'll lead into that.
I don't think he understands that. Charlamagne is an artist in my world. He got caught in a lie going after me so bad. He came after me so bad that even academics had to check him. Like, you talking about Ray like Ray didn't say, I heard. You so busy going after a mid-level podcaster. I caught that straight, by the way. I am a mid-level podcaster. And so it's like, you can't hurt me. So calling around is funny, but it feels like now he's compromised. And now I'm getting texts saying he's looking into me. Like, bro, but you can look into me all y'all want. There's nothing to find.
Wow. Charlamagne possibly calling around, looking into Ray Daniels. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if they have prior beef. This seems a little bit odd to me. We got to address the elephant in the room. Let me tell you this. The more I think about this, the more I look at this, the Charlamagne we're seeing now, I think I was blinded by a lot of loyalty and a lot of like, hey, this is my mentor. I don't think this is a different Charlamagne that we've seen in the past. This is the same guy, unfortunately. But there are certain differences that I've realized is appearing for the first time. That's probably why everyone is kind of like looking at him a little funny. Because I'm not going to lie, I've seen there's these other like podcasters who are coming out with saying, hey, Charlamagne's been calling us, like, trying to sway our opinions. And I was like, huh? Fuck is Charlamagne doing that? Anyway, here's the point. I think why Charlamagne's looking a little bit odd, this is the first time I've ever seen him where he has... You see, Charlamagne comes from the school of Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams used to be an asshole, but she couldn't get guests because they hated Wendy Williams. So Wendy Williams toned it back. She pulled it back. She hired Charlamagne. Charlamagne was the intern at first. Charlamagne would be the person who was like the attack dog. You come on the show, Charlamagne attacks you. Wendy Williams is kind of playing good cop, bad cop. She's getting the content. W show. So Charlamagne was the attack dog. What I think Charlamagne definitely learned from Wendy, who is the GOAT, is that as time goes on, the attack dog thing, you have to rise above. You got to use others as attack dogs. Let me be honest and be very clear with you. Taxstone was Charlamagne's attack dog. Very clear. Everyone he had issues with, Taxstone went at. That was the attack dog. Of course, Taxstone was an idiot. And honestly, with all due respect to Charlamagne, I think he's a horrible person at picking talent because he picks the losers.
I think that the reason why Charlamagne is doing some of this dirty work as himself is because he ain't the big dog here. Desiree Perez, as we just read, is the big dog. Desiree Perez is the person pulling some of these strings here and going after and collecting information to deploy her usual tactics, to put her tech team to work. Okay? That's all Desiree Perez. Desiree Perez is taking her tech team and putting them niggas to work. Now, I want to skip up ahead to where Ray Daniels actually calls in, and they speak a little bit more about this Charlamagne thing and give a little bit more information and insight on exactly the relationship between the three of them and RocNation.
The first is he calls you and he vehemently disagrees on how you know.
He asked me to chill out on Jay-Z talk, and I was like, okay, why?
Really?
So he tells me, he tells me why he wants me to chill out. He says, like Jay-Z's a good guy. He does a lot of stuff, and I just think it's unfair what you're doing. So I'm like, I thought it was noble. I love that he did that. Like, I was like, man, a black man calling for another black man. So I said that. All of this I said to him, by the way. And then I also said,
hold on. I got to slow this down here. I don't mean to cut you off.
Let's go.
But listen, Charlemagne is someone I've looked up to as well. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'll even use a better example. I've always told the chat, the first time I ever talked to Drake, Drake hit me up because of a post that we put up that had to do with XXX. Basically, X's fans was on Drake's ass. But and the reason why I'm bringing that up is that him hit me up at that time wasn't him like, hey, Ak, I'm trying to like, you know, get a relationship with you. That was because of X. And I wholehearted, that was him in my mind. That was him acknowledging that X's fans is on his ass, and he needed to mitigate that. That was not him trying to have a relationship with Ak. Okay,
Got it.
that didn't come till later. Okay, so at a later point, I could tell that he was hitting me up because he could see the value of me as a media member, and I could tell, okay, he wants to bridge that gap and have that that particular relationship. Did you not find it a little bit odd if he calls you up, Charlemagne, and he's vouching for another guy? He's like, yo, you know, your take on Jay might be a little bit heavy. You know, Jay's a great guy. That's not even seeming. I mean, obviously, it's Charlemagne hitting you up, but that doesn't seem like he's like, oh, I fuck with you. It seems like he's.
Yeah, he was just basically like, let me know, like, ease up on the J talk. And by the way, I told him I would. I was like, yo, bro, I'm human, no problem, bro. So then I said, I'm gonna tell my audience that you called me. And he goes, don't tell him I called you. And he said, tell him anybody else. He said, tell him that anybody else called you except for me. Like, so.
Like, now, what reason would Charlemagne have to be behind the scenes, making these calls, telling people, hey, ease up on the Jay-Z talk, stop talking about Jay-Z, you know, Jay's a great guy, maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you should. What is his reason for doing all of these things behind the scenes? You know what I mean? Trying to basically use his power and his influence, and you see how a lot of these guys in the media look up to him. When he calls academics, when he calls Ray Daniels, they're like, oh shit, yeah, bro, damn, yeah, we look up to you, yeah, bro, like, you OG in the game, in the space. A lot of these people look up to Charlemagne. So when Charlemagne reaches out to you and gives you a call and says, hey, man, yeah, you know, maybe ease up on the Jay-Z talk, at face value, a lot of these guys aren't really looking into it. A lot of these guys aren't really seeing it as odd because they're like, it's Charlemagne. But fast forward to today and reading the things that we know, putting together the pieces of what we know, this is all in RocNation and Desiree's playbook. This is all a part of her playbook. And we can't continue to really ignore this shit anymore because it's too many instances like this. Like I said, we can't just call this shit coincidence anymore. No longer can we call all of these one-offs and these disjointed instances just coincidence. We can't do that anymore.
I thought that was weird, but I hung up the phone. I just got it. I wasn't tripping on it. And then the Wayno thing goes out. And then I see that Charlemagne has something to do with the casino. And his name was, when you aired it out, RocNation there. When I saw that, I was like, oh.
Hey, by the way, again, I'm sorry. We got to slow this down. We got to slow this down. As you say that, right, in that conversation you had with him, I saw a couple other podcasters. There's these guys. I think their thing is called like Homeroom University or something. They have the same story that Charlemagne reached out to them, basically would kind of like give them, you know, like little pointers on their opinion. And essentially, it was more, they felt after a while, it was more to steer their opinion in certain ways rather than it was, hey, I'm reaching out because I fuck with you and I'm trying to build with you. Now, as you said, he said to you, don't tell anyone you talk to me. I think he told them niggas too. Don't tell them you talk to me. Did that not ring any bells at the time?
Now, why doesn't Charlemagne want to go around and plant seeds in all these media figures, but he doesn't want anybody to lead the paper trail back to him? That's quite strange. Don't you guys find that quite strange? Why is it that Charlemagne wants to be able to go around and say, hey, don't talk about Jay-Z. Hey, don't talk about RocNation. Hey, Desiree Perez is a wonderful woman. And nobody questions any of it?
It was weird to me, but it was also like, I get it. Sometimes, like, I looked at it like it was a respect thing for me. Like, yo, respectfully, bro, you got chill, no problem. Like, I get it. They told you to call me, no problem. Or maybe you called me on your own, no problem. I just wanted to know, was he in business with them? That was my question. That was the question I needed to know. So you don't have no business with them?
So
He said no.
Did you ask that verbatim?
Verbatim. I said, because I said, I think what you're doing is really noble. But do you have business with him, first of all? He was like, nah, I don't have no business with him. And I was like, this is dope as fuck, bro. Like, it inspired me to call other people for people. Like, that inspired me. That's why I was so, like, I loved it. I was like, man, this is what you do when you get to a certain level. And then I saw his name on that paperwork. I was like, that's whack, bro. That's whack.
Let me ask you a question. So you saw, obviously, what we all saw, which was that he had something to do with a business arrangement that clearly was them trying to bring a casino to Times Square. Did you ever reach out to him otherwise and be like, hey, just like how you reach out to me about Jay before, hey, what's up with this before I speak on it publicly?
I wasn't going to speak on it publicly. I literally spoke on it and I said, hey, like I saw, because what really made me know, I'm going to be honest with you. You want me to tell you what made me know he fucked with RocNation more than ever?
What?
His interview with you. That changed it for me. I watched the whole thing.
Now, listen, I want you guys to zero into this because this is where they get to talking about Desiree Perez and how Charlemagne refers to Desiree Perez. And it's funny to Ray Daniels because apparently he has never heard anyone refer to Desiree Perez as nice or, this welcoming, wholesome little lady. It's just not a thing amongst the industry. So that took him aback. But let's let him say it for himself.
Okay.
And he kept saying he kept trying to get you to meet them. And I was like, why is he trying to get him to meet them so bad? And then he said, Dez is so nice. Now, mind you, I've been in the business 21 years. I've just started hearing Dez's name in the last 5 or 6 years. And when I heard it like she was the boogeyman. Don't play with her. She don't play. She gangster as fuck. She'll take, like, it was like,
don't play with her. When I first heard Desiree Perez's name, I heard don't play with her. It was like the boogeyman. Are y'all niggas not hearing this shit? Are we still arguing about evidence and all of this book? Let's run it back. Let's run it back. I just need to calm 10 seconds.
His interview with you, that changed it for me. I watched the whole thing.
Let's listen to this again.
And he kept saying, he kept trying to get you to meet them. And I was like, why is he trying to get him to meet them so bad? And then he said, Dez is so nice. Now, mind you, I've been in the business 21 years. I've just started hearing Dez's name in the last 5 or 6 years. And when I heard it like she was the boogeyman.
When I heard it like it was the boogeyman. The first time I heard of Desiree Perez, it was like hearing of the boogeyman. Are y'all niggas not hearing this? Are we not hearing it? Are we no comprende?
Don't play with her. She don't play. She gangster as fuck. She'll take, like, it was like, don't play with her. So there was the first time I ever heard somebody talk about how she was sweet. I'm like, he gotta be compromised saying that. I don't even think
it was the first time I had ever heard anybody talking like she was sweet. And ain't nothing sweet about her. She's a gangster. Don't fuck with her. She'll get you in some shit. That's what it sounded like he was about to say. She'll get you caught up in some shit. She'll get you in all type of bullshit. Don't fuck with her. Why is that the sentiment?
He would say that about herself. Like,
I'll tell you what tipped me off, right? And this is when you know. Sometimes you feel like you meet somebody and they're what you call a mutual arbiter, or they're in the middle. They're in the middle of two parties. They don't, they're not really picking a side. They got relationships with both, and that's what I thought with Charlemagne too. You know what told me he's probably more on the side of Rock Nation than me. I'm looking up to him as a mentor. I'm looking him up to as a guy who I try to model my career after to some extent. The moment when he listened to what I would say, and he said, "Yeah, Ak, you're kind of like you're coming off as manic," and I would say, "Well, you tell me what they have said about me," and it was a blank. It was like, "Oh, clearly I'm here to receive info to bring back, not here to try to bridge a gap and be like, oh no, like I've talked to Des, yeah, I brought you up to Des. That's got nothing, Our first convo, he claimed."
In other words, no transparency, which I can give Act that. There was no, you come up in conversation, or we had extensive conversations about you, or hey, I asked Desiree about XYZ, or these concerns that you had. He still hasn't gotten back to Act. He still hasn't gotten back to Act. And they've been face to face. And he still hasn't laid out those facts. So, it's very understandable how niggas is looking at this shit.
That Jay-Z and Desiree Perez were too big. They wouldn't know what's going on with Drake or me. Then when we see what happened at the Roots picnic, he was just in denial that they have had any opinion. So I'm like, yo, listen, so I said, why? You said you were going to call on Monday to figure out whatever. He said, well, you went online and you said X, Y, and Z. So I'm like, okay, could you just tell me what's their demeanor to me? He wouldn't say a word. That's when I knew he was not a independent, mutual. You friends with two niggas that don't like each other, and you play in the middle. You got to play the middle right. You can't play. You can't play to the extra right where you're like, yo, all right, I'm gonna tell you everything he say, and I'm gonna just like shit talk, and I'm just not gonna. No, you're either gonna be the person that says, nah, they're down to meet. Oh, nah.
Yep.
Nothing came back, and I learned from that. Okay, so you watched that interview, and you kind of seen what the fuck, and you probably felt like you probably got taken for a ride as well, a little bit, right?
Yeah, but see, I also knew I don't have the cachet with Charlemagne to call him out. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. So for me, it was just like, okay, noted. I know that from now on, that you'll lie to me. It's cool. But I wasn't tripping. But it was the donkey of the day was like, oh, you just really, you with them now. Like.
Yeah. Charlemagne is obviously compromised in, the worst way. And I mean, it is what it is. You can't really do too much about that. But I wanted to play that clip because I really thought it was important. Just understand the tidbit, the 10-second clip that we got of Ray Daniels just breaking it down and laying it out for us. These people refer to and look at Desiree Perez as the fucking boogeyman. Okay? She is not this figure or this wholesome woman or this person who you guys may think is not capable of these things that we are alleging. But I'm here to tell you 100% she is. I'm here to tell you 100% that she is capable of the foul play, of being as cutthroat as we're reading on some of these documents. She is all of that. Okay? And I wish more people in the industry would come out and be as transparent as Ray Daniels and speak to the type of person Desiree Perez, the person running RocNation, is. Okay? I wish more people would come out and speak to that because I just think it's really important that we put shit into perspective. Or shit, just tell your story. At this point, I would love to hear it. Tell your story and trust. I will be doing my own research and my own due diligence to try and figure out exactly who I can find in my immediate vicinity that has some firsthand knowledge on working with RocNation or maybe working with Desiree Perez. We will be diving in. We will be trying to do some of that because if we don't do it, who will? You know what I'm saying? If nobody does it, then who will? And it has to be there has to be people who are willing to just do more than get up here, turn this mic on, turn this camera on, and talk about the facts and not just present or break the facts. Okay, so 100% agree with the sentiment of academics and how he put that forth, but we're going to put in the work over here like we've been doing. We're going to continue writing articles. We're going to continue breaking this information, finding out information, connecting the dots, and being active in the community to make sure that this side of hip hop stays with some type of integrity. We keep shit fun. We keep the dedication in it. We keep the passion in it, because fun, passion, loving your craft, that shit can't exist with people Desiree Perez running amok, people like or entities like RocNation shutting people down and taking anybody out who is opposed to them or not on their side. Okay, because at this point I don't even see what's their beef or issue with Drake and trying to take him out, but we'll get more into that, I'm sure, and find out more details about that. Perhaps Drake was looking at UMG when he should also be looking at RocNation and how they may have played a vital part in the beef, in funding certain things, and in their interest and investment in taking him down, what that would mean to them. I would say they have a bigger claim and more to gain from taking Drake down and taking Stake down with it. Okay. So I think you have to evaluate them. You have to evaluate exactly what's going on. Let me get some. I gotta get some of this new information coming up. So before I get out of here, I wanted to talk a little bit of Lakers talk because, of course, our team got sold again. Okay? The team was sold again to the brother of Jared Kushner, somebody we've been actually speaking a lot about here on the Doja Room. And yeah, it was reported that at least yesterday or the last couple of days that the Bus family sold their last their stake in the Lakers at about 17%, I believe. And Jeannie Buss came out to fight those allegations, which apparently they're allegations now. She came out to fight those allegations. She came out to say that this is just the latest instance of a years-long pattern where Joey and Jesse Buss leak false and defamatory information to Mr. Sharanya for the malicious purpose of doing harm to the Lakers. And that was her response to that. So a lot of people were actually getting on Shams Charania and ESPN. This person says ESPN is having a brutal day for NBA reported inaccurately on the Kawhi Leonard and Clippers investigation with the NBA. And if you guys remember, we reported on that yesterday. So we may have some updates and have to re-look at that. Lead inside Shams Charania wrongfully reported that Jeannie Buss and the Buss family is officially selling the Lakers. So yeah, the Buss family apparently still has their stake, and it seems like Shams jumped on what's this guy's? I think it's McMintz, whatever his name is. He jumped on this guy's show and I guess to clear things up and explain himself a
And
little bit.
I do have to say that letter included my name in it, and which I found interesting. And I just have to make it very clear. Like, I fully stand by my reporting. What I reported was that there was a majority vote, at least 4 of 6 necessary to be able to close a transfer as far as the tag-along provision. And I had a statement from the Bus Family Trust. The first line of the statement from the lawyer said that I, quote, reported the 6 Bus siblings voted to sell. That key sentence right there is inaccurate. And so I fully stand by my reporting. I've handled every story with care, including stories with the Lakers as that statement continues. And I do have to say that letter included my name in it, and which I found interesting. And I just have to make it very clear. Like, I fully stand by my reporting.
Okay.
What I reported was that there was a majority vote, at least 4 of 6.
So Sham said, and I did see reports that said it was only about, well, the report that I seen, I don't know if it was necessarily Shams, but I did see it was about 5. It was 5-0 to the votes, with there being 6 Bus siblings. But apparently Jeannie holds the infinity rings, and I don't know if that was false, if that was something that actually needs to be contested in court or what. But I don't know. You know, things are always wild for the Lakers around the off season in the summertime, and you can always expect very wild and eventful things going on in the background. Okay, like, it's never a dull moment, for real. Like, it really isn't. But yeah, the Lakers did get sold again. We do have new ownership all over again. Mark Walters is out. I think the guy's name is Jack Kushner. Jack Kushner is in. Bob Iger is in. And we'll see where this Luka era will go. You know, it seems a little bit shaky now that things don't seem as certain as they were a couple of months ago when Mark Walter bought the team. I think he only held the team for about 9 months before selling, and we're just in some uncertain waters right now. You know, for me personally as a fan, I feel like I'm uncertain about the roster. I'm uncertain about you know, the team. I'm uncertain about Rob Pelinka going forward, and whether he should stay or whether he should go. But you know, my gut is telling me that we should hire some better talent as a GM. I'm uncertain about a lot of things. The only thing I'm really sure about when it comes down to the Lakers is Luka Doncic. That's pretty much it. Okay, and that's if he's healthy. So I don't even know if I'm fully 100% sure about that. And also there's the question of how long he'll actually stay here with us. I'm always kind of keeping that in the back of my mind as well, you know, because I would like them to do right by Luka, handle him with care, and make sure this is a place where he wants to spend the rest of his career. Okay, so hopefully we turn this season and the next couple of seasons into something tangible, that we can actually see us moving in a trajectory that is positive. Okay. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Just wanted to come out and put out those couple of things. Again, I want to highlight just real quick. I want to make sure I highlight that article that we read a little bit earlier. Okay, if you can, go ahead and check out my article that I dropped today. Why isn't the quiet part being said out loud? This is Desiree's playbook. Okay, if you guys can please, fuck the stream today. If you can go to this article, hit it with a repost, hit it with a like, I will greatly appreciate it. No matter what platform you're watching it, if you're on Kick, if you're on what's the other shit? I'm a little high right now. YouTube, Kick, Twitch, anything that I'm Rumble, anything that you're watching this shit on, please make your way down here to X. Follow me at Dopeboy Diesel, Drake and 5. You guys know all the vibes and the names and things like that. So make sure that you're following me on all platforms. There, you can follow me there. You can even follow me on IG, where you can come here to better get my articles and find everything that you need to find with the Doja Room. That's our music reviews, our movie reviews, and all our other reviews that we do here in the Doja Room, okay? So follow me. I hope you guys are locked in and always rocking with me. I appreciate the people who are, and everybody who always comes and checks out the show, hits it with a like or a repost, and just shows some love. I greatly appreciate you, even if you don't stop and stay for the whole show, but I hope you do. I greatly appreciate you guys, okay? To all my stoners, hippies, and hip-hop enthusiasts, this has been the Doja Room. I'm your boy, Dope Boy Diesel, and it's just about time for me to get up out of here. I'm trying to determine, I got to get out of here, got to get out of town, either by tomorrow or Thursday, so we'll see if I get back on and record. I'll be trying to take my microphone and my camera with me down south so I can film on the family vacation and you know, maybe get some footage or do something where I don't have to be completely away, okay? But hopefully you guys stick with me in this uncertain time, in these uncertain times. But yeah, it's summertime right now. I'm just trying to vibe, we're trying to have fun at the same time. But yeah, let's keep our foots on these niggas' necks, okay? Let's keep our foots on these niggas' necks. Let's do what the fuck we have to do as, you know, fans. If you're a hip-hop journalist, whoever, let's keep our foot on these niggas' necks, okay? To all my stoners, hippies, and hip-hop enthusiasts, I'm your boy, Dope Boy Diesel. This is the Doja Room, and I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, this that special sauce. Spill that drip, I wipe it off. $1 million worth of game. Can't feel that I work too hard. Poetry on Lenny.